I discovered Carson McCullers when I was in my teens, and I was really interested in short stories. And I read a short story of hers called Sucker. Everything about her drew me in. First of all was her androgyny. She wrote from a male perspective, or she wrote from female perspectives. I liked the way she looked because that reflected the same thing, a kind of non-girly aesthetic. The fact that she was from the Deep South, especially in the time that she comes from, it colored the cadence of the characters, of the speech of the characters that she wrote about. They're kids who really have it rough and who are struggling to dream and to make a life for themselves. And that felt very universal to me.
With the two of you, we make three as a family. That is why.
This album, Lover Beloved, is very different than any of my other albums. Some of it is the construction, some of it is that I'm working with Duncan Sheik. What I like about Duncan's work is there's a beauty and a kind of yearning quality in a lot of it. It's also funny, it's also intellectual, there's and very sensual. There's a real sensuality to Duncan's aesthetic.
When this opportunity came up, I was really honored, and after trying to convince her to just write it herself, I was like, okay, let's do it together. This will be a lot of fun. So there's something that I really love about this is maybe the wrong word, but like affectless singers and people who sing with a certain amount of ease, and you let the words tell the story and do the emoting, and it's not about some kind of overly performative shenanigans. It's just not really my taste.
That's enough out of you tonight, my darling. This show is...
The Instant of the Hour After was the first song we did together, and this is what made me really feel, oh, this is really going to work. It's a short story that Carson McCullers wrote while she was at Columbia University studying writing. And it features her and her husband in a fictional setting, and it became prophetic as to what their relationship would be like. It's two alcoholics at the end of a night, really savaging each other. It gave me shivers when I worked on it. I remember thinking, this is really something.
Yeah, and that was a piece of music that I did have in my back pocket, and I really loved it, but it didn't have a home, and it didn't have, I didn't really know quite what to do with it. And when Suzanne described what that song should be, might be, and I was thinking about, like the end of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf or something, and just, it seemed, again, to just fit really well.
How I love you. How I loathe you.
First of all, most people did not know who Carson McCullers was, but they were still able to come away with the sense that she was very far ahead of her time, who really persevered over a lot of odds. And secondly, how contemporary the issues are still today.
It's kind of like being an actor. Like you can inhabit this other character in whatever way you think of that character as being, and then you write a song kind of as that character, and that just allows you to do so many interesting things, but harmonically and melodically and rhythmically and genre-wise and stylistically.
New York is my destination. New York is where I will be from. New York is made for grander things, just like me.
I had something very specific that I wanted. I wanted an old-fashioned quality, a Rodgers and Hammerstein kind of quality. I think I even picked out a couple of songs and sort of shoved them at you. Mm-hmm. And I had the title, New York is my destination. So that had a rhythm already implied in the title.
And I think that this might have been Martha's Vineyard when we were working on that song, and it's possible because there was this like 1950s organ in the house where we were staying in. Right. So I was like playing with this funky old organ and playing with all these kind of 7 and 9 chords, and then I had this Gibson ES 175 kind of slightly. It's like the Steve Howe guitar, but it's like a jazz guitar. And so I was just playing, like comping these chords and just thinking about being at the Algonquin.
I saw your face. I knew you'd haunt me for all of my life.
So Anne Marie was a figure of unrequited love for Carson. This was one of the songs where we altered the melody more than any other one. He made me go for that high note. How can I possibly compare? You know, that range is Duncan's work.
Everyone knows you. How can I possibly compare? Who could attain you?
I mean, I love Suzanne's voice so much, and I love the calm, smooth, lovely area that she inhabits.
And then the way Jerry produced the album, I thought was just right, because we have trombones, we have ukuleles and banjos and upright bass. There's more blues in this album because Carson was from the South, and I felt that was part of her vernacular. There's a slight classical element because she was a classically trained pianist. So that's very different than my own more folky, kind of folk rock world.
Understand, understand, understand that I've never belonged.
Oh, it's very different to write for a character and to write in someone else's voice. There's a thrill in it to me to kind of get away from myself, and I loved also being able to take liberties. You know, for Carson McCullers to be snarky about Harper Lee is great. I think Carson would be amazed to find out how celebrated Harper Lee continues to be to this day. I think, honestly, Carson McCullers thought of her as really not much competition. I had a lot of fun kind of putting it all in there. And you should know that the final line, "I'd like to kill more than just that mockingbird," was actually something she never said. That was something Duncan Sheik wrote. And it's perfect. It's the perfect final line for that song.
I've seen and we've heard, and I'd like to kill more than just that mockingbird. My squeezed heart divides into two wide wings.
The We of Me is an idea that is articulated in The Member of the Wedding. This was a situation that recurred a lot in Carson McCullers' life. She frequently found herself involved with two people at once. We didn't think to write the song until the play, the former play, was already up and running, and we needed a song that was upbeat, that came at one moment in the play. We wrote it really quickly. I mean, really, like overnight or something, because we needed to throw it in, like during the previews. And it became one of the songs that it always got applause at the end of it.
Yeah, it's the most kind of contemporary sounding thing, I think, on the record. So it makes sense that it would be a first single and that it's maybe a nice introduction into this world. But then, you know, it kind of, things get deeper and sadder and more intriguing as you go deeper into the record, I think.
That is why you're the we of me, the we of me.
I constantly think of what Carson McCullers would say. I think she'd complain about a few things, but I think overall she would be happy with the kind of attention that she's received. And I feel that hopefully what I'm giving is a platform for her to actually speak, for her spirit to be present and for it to be revealed. And that's what I'm after.
I belong to be with the two of you. We make three as a family.